All right, welcome back to Doodling with Purpose, episode 76. Oh, wow, we've been doing this for a long time. All right, so we are into verbs, and we're going to do a little recap of what we've learned so far with tenses before we jump into a new tense. Hey, we're learning a lot now. All right, so first off, we've talked about the four classes of verbs: strong, doubling, weak, and extra weak, which again, you will just learn as you go what class any verb is: to see, to love, to give, etc. And we've talked about the infinitive, which is where weak and extra weak verbs get a T. And we've talked about the general present, where doubling verbs double. Gee, what a shocker. A verb called a doubling verb doubles. Well, that's how you recognize the present tense. And of course, you use context to also try to figure out the other verbs. All right, so with the infinitive, the extra T is only added, as I said, to weak and extra weak verbs. You would then use this context to figure out doubling and strong. With general present, doubling the double verbs, but then you'll also add a pronoun, like he in this example. So if you remember your suffix pronouns, your I, you feminine, you plural, he, she, we, and they. These are absolutely worth memorizing, writing down on flashcards, tattooing onto your arm, whatever it takes. But these are good ones to definitely focus on. So if you were going to do present tense, she sees, we've got a doubling verb, and you've got the suffix pronoun sh for she, the bolt of cloth, which is the word she in the suffix pronoun. All right, so now let's move on to another form, the specific present. And like all the other verb forms, there are certain types of verbs that have certain characteristics in the specific present. Well, actually, it's a little easier, because for the specific present, which is doing, is seeing, you're going to start with the infinitive, which again has that extra T on weak and extra weak verbs, not on strong and doubling. And then we're going to add the word is. Oh, you don't know what the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic word for is? Well, that's why we're doodling with purpose. So let me teach you that. So the word for is in ancient Egyptian is her, which is the human face, but then adding a stroke line under it. So if it's just the human face, it's her as a consonant sound in a word. But if it's by itself with a stroke line under it, it's the word is. Another one good remembering. So the specific present is strong, is seeing. You're going to have the word is followed by the infinitive form of the verb. So again, weak and extra weak verbs getting that extra T. You'll know if it's a doubling or strong verb in the infinitive through context clues if weak and extra weak verbs are in the sentence. And again, you'll add your suffix pronoun to the end of the verb stem so that you can then say, he is seeing, she is seeing. So here we have, he is seeing. And it's broken down as her, ma'a, f. And when it's written in transliteration, it's very important the f for the suffix pronoun always gets an equals mark. So that way it's easier to read in transliteration. So her, ma'a, equals f. Tells you it's is seeing he, or he is seeing, because Egyptian, like French, is the other way, reverse from English. And the f is always written, any suffix pronoun, with an equal sign, and then the consonant of the suffix pronoun. So in the case, he is the letter F, the horned viper. So don't think like female. That's just F is he. Now you may also ask, well, wait a minute. I thought when you have a second consonant, you're not supposed to pronounce it or write it out. In the case of ma'a, why are there two A's? Well, it's because you actually have three A's. You have first the garden hoe, which is ma'a. Then you have two doubling two vultures, and ah. So you actually have three here. So you do cancel one, but that still leaves two. So that's why you have two A's in the doubling verb to see. And then, of course, the glyph for the I, which would be pronounced IR, is actually determinative here for seeing. And it's moved due to transposition for making it look nicer. All right, so let's just go over again. So we've got our infinitive, which is week and extra week getting a T, our general present, which is doubling verbs double plus the suffix pronoun. And then the specific present now is the infinitive form with that double T preceded by the word is, and then afterwards with a suffix pronoun, just like the general present. So you could say, he is seeing, they are seeing, we are seeing, I am seeing. So there you go. And of course, is, again, would change based on the suffix pronoun from is to are, but it's the same word. There's not a different word for are. Next week, we'll continue our verbs, and we're going to go forward into the past, because we're going to learn past tense, which is actually a little bit easier, especially once you have your basis of general present and specific present and the infinitive. So we're going into the past next week, which is, a shocker that Doodling with Purpose has to do with the past. If you do like this series, please subscribe and like it. It tells YouTube to share it with more people. And if you have any questions, do leave them in the comments, and I will clarify all. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next week.